Hey, BeeTeam6, David Burns here. Thanks for joining me for another instructional video. I had a good time down in St. Louis at the Three Rivers Beekeepers Association on Saturday. All-day workshop there. I was presenting the advanced class on beekeeping to about 30 or 40 advanced beekeepers, and it was fun. We actually got into a hive. A couple of BeeTeam6 members were there, and it was fun. I had a good time on Saturday. I've been telling you about the hive behind me, that I have been concerned about how it doesn't seem to have a lot of activity out front. I think I showed you that in a video last week. So just judging by the downward trend of foraging activity has made me concerned about what's going on. I've been harvesting honey. I've got a queen excluder on it right here. So down in the brood nest area, I'm concerned about if I have a queen, is she laying good? I'm hoping that maybe there was just a break in brood cycle, and maybe the numbers got a little bit low while they raised a new queen. I don't know, but this would be a good instructional video for all of you to see what I do when I'm concerned about why a hive seems to be falling behind. So I've got my hands on some cool burlap. I actually roast my own coffee beans. From the green beans, I roast them, and coffee beans come in this neat burlap. And you have to be careful, I think, with burlap. Some burlap could contain pesticides, but if you're getting coffee beans, it doesn't, and it smells like green coffee beans. But look at this big sheet I cut up. I'm going to show you how to use this big sheet of burlap during the fall, when maybe you want to inspect your hive, but you don't want your hive to be robbed out. Burlap is cool. I'll show you that trick too. You only learn this stuff by being a subscriber here on BeeTeam6. I don't make this kind of knowledge public on my other YouTube videos because I'm saving a lot of neat things just for you guys. Let's get started. And of course, you can use it as smoker fuel, and normally I'm suggesting you use something like old jeans, but I'm going to try the burlap now and see how well it smokes on this inspection. Let's give her a try. I'm not going to pack it down real tight, just enough to light it up. That's making some pretty cool smoke. And I do mean cool in two ways. All right, close her up. Let's start our inspection. What do we have here, BeeTeam6? You're only going to see this kind of stuff here on BeeTeam6. That is a drone, the male drone honeybee graveyard. They died trying to make it through the queen excluder, and they got stuck. And now the bees, the workers, are trying to tear them apart to get them out of there. Another reason I don't care too much for queen excluders. Of course, losing some drones like that is no big deal. Now, one of the things you can do in the fall or late summer when robbing can be a problem, during a honey dearth, nectar dearth, you can use burlap to cover your, cover a hive over here if you don't have a top cover, or the hive that you have opened. Like in my case, I can put my inner cover back over here on top of the super, and then I can cover this hive up, except I can roll it back a little bit to work some of those frames. I highly recommend you do this. And like I said, the burlap is awesome to have. Gonna take a frame out and just work our way through, see what we find. Boy, is it hot out here. Have you guys been suffering through the heat like I have, working bees? You can be careful, stay hydrated, and don't become so hot you have a heat stroke out here. We do see a empty, make sure it's empty. Yeah, so this is all bee bread. For those of you that want to see what bee bread looks like up close, a mixture of nectar and pollen together. Kind of fun. And there is a queen cup that's empty, an emergency queen cup in case they need it. They can the queen can lay an egg in there, but we don't have a need for it right now. And nectar on the other side, no sign of any brood. By the way, those of you on BeeTeam6 that may have never seen what drone brood looks like, if you look right here, let me get my camera, see if I can see where I'm pointing. This is all drone brood. See how it sticks up kind of bumpy? That's drone pupa. We're gonna go for broke here and just kind of pull some frames out in the middle to speed things up before we run out of inspection time. And our clock is ticking pretty quick. So if I take out the middle frame, what am I going to find? Bee bread. Bee bread. And this is a good example of why you should never pull out the middle frame. You can see here what I just did is I just destroyed my only hope of this hive having a queen. Look at that. When I pulled up the middle frame, I tore open this cell. So unless there's another one, I've got to introduce another cell. So they are queenless, and they are raising their own queen that I just accidentally destroyed. So take my word, don't pull up a middle frame like that. But I want to summarize what we found today in the hive that I was looking at. And it might surprise you that even I can make mistakes. And I made a mistake today. In this case, it's not as tragic as it might have been for you because I'm a queen producer. I raise queens. And as you saw me lift the wrong frame out, I really thought I could get away with it. I looked in there, there was no comb attached to the frame, there was a lot of spacing. I believe that deep that I was looking at had only 9 frames in it, so it was plenty of room to spread out a little bit. And lo and behold, the one frame that I pull up, I broke a queen cell open. Can't replace it. And so that's why the hive was so small. It went queenless. They started raising a queen, and then I lost the queen cell. Not a bad thing though, because I couldn't wait that long. I mean, that queen larva was probably only around 10 or maybe 9 or 10 days old, and I really need to put a mated queen in there quicker than that. So, because if that was going to take another 4 or 5 days probably for her to emerge, another 5 or 6 days for her to get mated, another 3 days to start laying. Now I dropped a mated queen in there today. Boom, we're going to have her out and probably tomorrow or the next day laying eggs. So that was a good thing. I would have torn it down anyway if I would have seen it, because I just can't wait. Boy, that hive had so many, just no brood for so long. And a lot of drones, a lot of bee bread, no brood at all. It happens, and it's a good lesson. I think it's a good video to make for you to see that I harvested some honey off of it. I thought I had the queen captured. Things kind of went, without me watching it closely, it went bad. And so they went queenless, and I wasn't paying close enough attention. I can get it all right again. It's just going to take a little bit of work. It's a good lesson to learn though for all of you. You really need to look into those hives every 2 weeks. Make sure you have eggs, and make sure that you have a good laying queen. That's critical actually. Make sure you have a lot of brood, cap brood, eggs, larvae. Keep an eye on that. I intended to look at that. I taught a class on Saturday down in St. Louis all day, an advanced class. It was a great workshop. And I even told the class, I've got a hive back home that I haven't been paying close enough attention to, and it's getting weaker. And when I get home, I need to find out what's wrong. Now, also something interesting I wanted to tell you is when I was at St. Louis, I told the workshop attendants there was about 30 or 40 people. And I told them about, I had never killed a queen in all my years of handling all these queens and marking them and selling them. I told them I'd never have killed a queen, by accidentally being too rough with them. But I said I was wearing a pair of gloves one day, and I was handling a queen, and I grabbed her, I marked her, and when I put her in the little cage, she fell to the bottom, just boom. And I was like, oh, what did I do? Did I kill her? Were the gloves? I usually like to feel her feet and her wings with my fingers, but I couldn't through the gloves. So maybe I thought, oh, I must have been too rough with her. This is too bad. Well, I shook her out and I laid her on a frame that was sitting sideways. And when I did, she just kind of laid there limp, you know, and the bees kind of gathered around. Well, I picked it up and turned it sideways and put it back in the hive, and I thought maybe she'd fall to the bottom. I don't know, but it looked like they were kind of holding on to her. That was probably 2 weeks ago. Today, I went back in. Now, this is how I know this is what happened, because I marked her, and then when I put her into that little cage, she fell to the bottom as if she was dead. So she had a yellow dot on her. Well, today when I opened it up, I saw eggs. I saw larvae, 3-day-old larvae, 4-day-old larvae. Wow, the queen's not dead, right? And so I picked up some frames and I looked, and lo and behold, there she was, big yellow dot on her back, walking around, having a good time laying eggs. Now, I've heard that queens can kind of pass out or go unconscious or something. They just get kind of dazed sometimes when you handle them. And I was hoping that's what it was. And sure enough, that's what happened. So far my record is still clean. I have never unintentionally killed a queen. All right. So that's another lesson to learn. Be careful when you're handling queens. You have to really be kind of rough to hurt them. But I made a commitment not to ever wear gloves again when I'm working with queens. I've got to feel what things are going on when I'm handling them. Okay, BeeTeam6, well, I want to let you know, starting next week, I'm going to be taking you through wrapping up summer and getting started on fall. I know it's kind of early, but I want to give you a heads up. I don't want you to have to be behind trying to get caught up. So now we're going to start giving some advance notice on what you need to be doing over the next 3 or 4 to 6 weeks and getting ready on your hives, getting them ready for winter. You might think, no, I've got honey to take off. It's still hot outside. We're not even into August yet. Well, it takes preparation. Right now we're going to be needing to do some things to get them ready for winter. So let's think ahead. Don't delay. Don't put things off. Listen to my instructions closely over these next few weeks as we do some winter prep work, okay? All right. Hey, good to see you. Hope you have a good harvest. I hope your honey harvest is going good. Look forward to seeing you next time.